Howdy folks, Cursed Curator with some lovely content today, and today we have People of this Decade, the 1930s. So this has been a long time coming, honestly. The last time we did a People of this Decade was what, like 6 months ago? It was like so much stuff happening throughout all those years, and the years throughout each piece of content we were doing. And this was like the first people of this decade that I've done by myself. We have 10 lovely people to talk about, and 5 extras who I do want to talk about just briefly because I viewed them as pretty important for this decade as well. But first up on our list is the Marx Brothers. So they are in 10th place for me. So I have a thing with comedy, and I kind of express this throughout most of the videos that involve comedy here and there. Is I don't care for it too much. If there's not a story like really heavily tied to it, and in fairness, there are stories to the Marx Brothers film sometimes, not all the time, but usually it's pretty bare bones, and it's almost always solved in the end. But enough ranting from me. So the Marx Brothers: Leonard Marx, Adolf Marx, Julius Marx, Milton Marx, and Herbert Marx. So they were, of course, all born on different years, so allow me to go through the list. Leonard was born on born on March 22nd, 1887. Adolf Marx was born on November 23rd, 1888. Julius Marx was born on October 2nd, 1890. And Milton Marx was born on October 23rd, 1892. And finally, Herbert Marx was born on February 25th of 1901. And we're not done yet, because there are death dates. Yay! Or, well, not yay, but you know what I mean. Leonard Marx died on October 11th, 1961. Ooh, what was I talking about there? Adolf Marx, died on September 28th, 1964. Milton Marx died on April 21st, 1977. Julius Marx died on August 19th, 1977. And finally, Herbert Marx died on November 30th, 1979. Okay. That was a lot. Sorry, I had to go through a list there, and it was kind of hard to read. I should have got closer to the screen, but it's always one of those videos where I always pop out and be kind of weird at first, but we'll get the hang of it. So, the zaniest of all madcap comedy teams were the Marx Brothers, namely Groucho, Chico, and Harpo. There were also Zeppo, who featured in their early comedies as a straight man and later became a theatrical agent, and Gummo, or rather Milton, who eschewed the entertainment industry for a career in business. Both of the Marxes were born in New York. Their father, Simon, nicknamed Frenchie, originally hailed from Germany. Okay, so as you guys might not, you might remember or you might not. So I go through, basic stuff like that, for their birthdays, their death dates, and like a very basic, introduction to who they were. And next up, we'll go through their films. Their first film, and all the way down to their last. So the lovely Marx Brothers actually were not in that many films. They were only in 9, give or take, which to me, it feels like they were in way more than that. So, their first film was The Coconuts. And their last film was A Night in Casablanca. So, I cannot remember every damn score I've given to the Marx Brothers in their stuff, obviously. I recall liking Duck Soup quite a bit, though. So, that's there. Oh, also, A Night at the Circus was pretty good, too. Yeah. Let me get on to their trivia. So, oh yes, as always, sometimes you'll see some people that has already been on the list before. We'll very briefly go to trivia for them. We won't really focus on them very much. We only, from what I can recall, we only have one person on the list that fits that. I could be wrong. It's been so long, so forgive me. In 1971, the Mariner 9 spacecraft arrived in orbit around Mars to find it entirely engulfed in a planet-wide dust storm. The only features clearly visible were 4 dark spots, now known correspond to the Thorius volcanoes and Olympus Mons. Carl Sagan was so fascinated by these that his colleagues at Cornell University jokingly called them Karl Marx, taken in his turn nicknamed the four spots Harpo, Groucho, Chico, and Zeppo. At the time of his death on November 30th, 1979, Zuppo Marx was the last surviving Marx brother. In alphabetical order, they were Chico Marx, Groucho Marx, Gummo Marx, Harpo Marx, and Zeppo Marx. Gummo appeared in their vaudeville act, but not in any Marx Brothers films. There was a sixth Marx brother named Manfred who passed away at the age of 3. Aww. Well, that is all we had for the Marx Brothers. And all in all, I thought this was a pretty interesting cast of fellows. Their films are not really for me. I'm going to be honest. I didn't enjoy them nearly as much as I enjoyed other films. But they were a nice breather. Like a nice breath of fresh air when it's like all for the heavy stuff, the boring stuff. They were nice in the middle. And I like that. Sorry, I had to have a little sip of water there. Next up, we have our boy, the man, the legend, Gary Cooper. How I grab the right image? Because, so I looked up Gary Cooper like 1,000 damn times, and every time I looked him up, this image kept popping up, but I'm like, is that still the same person? It might not be. And honestly, like, I'm staring at the damn nose. It's the same nose, but you know what? Whatever. So Gary Cooper was born on 1901, and he died sometime around 1961. Born to Alice Cooper and Charles Cooper, Gary attended school at Dunstable School, England, Helena, Montana, and Grinnell College. Grinnell, Iowa, then called Iowa College. His first stage experience was during high school and college. Afterward, he worked as an extra for 1 year before getting a part in a two-reeler by the independent producer Hans Tesler. Eileen Sigwick was his first leading lady. He then appeared in The Winning of Barbara Worth in 1926 for United Artists before moving to Paramount. Ooh, 1 second. While there, he appeared in a small part in Wings, 1927, 1927, and other films. Very interesting. Okay, so he was in a lot of films. Not that surprising. We saw Cooper a lot on our journey, and we'll keep seeing him. And we will keep seeing him, at least until the 60s. So, his first ever film, let us go all the way down to his massive list. He was in 119 films, which, don't get me wrong, there are people who has way more films than that. But this is a lot for this type of damn thing so early in my opinion, release. So his first film, according to this, was The Last Hour. Going all the way up, his last ever role was in 1961 in The Naked Edge. So I have not gotten into the 60s just yet. I'm now just into the 50s when it comes to films. So that's a very fun journey for me. But let me think on all the films I have seen from him, and I'll give you guys my favorite from him. I should have prepared more for him because I had some things to say, but So I recall this one because I recall saying some good things on this one. Mr. Deeds Goes to Town. That was a good film. There's another film, or rather actor, who has a film regarding Deed. I just can't remember who it was. It might have been Robert Donat. I might be misremembering now. Beyond that, I also enjoyed Morocco. That's an obvious one. That's a really good one from him. What else did he do? It was really damn good. I guess Half a Bride. That was another good film. Although it really depends on what portion of his films you were like really consuming. I know we're not there yet, but I have gotten into a few of his 1940s films. I did truly enjoy The Pride of the Yankees. You know, it was during the time of the war and every damn thing, and it was really inspiring. It was really enjoyable. But let's go down to the trivia. I don't want to stay on each person too long. Of course, by the way, Mr. Cooper is my 9th place person. According to James Gardner's autobiography, Cooper developed the habit of paying for everything by check, knowing that people would keep it for his signature and never cash it. It was a trick also used by Pablo Picasso, who once said he had seldom paid for anything, from lunches to cars to houses, because of it. That is a sneaky way of doing things. I wonder if people still do that. hope so. That's fucking hilarious. He was close friends with Ernest Hemingway for 20 years. Hemingway, oh my lord. Hemingway ended himself a month after Cooper's death. Um, oh boy, that's actually really sad. In 1951, after 25 years in show business, his professional reputation declined, and he was dropped from the Motion Pictures Herald's list of the top 10 box office performers. The following year, he made a big comeback at the age of 51 with High Noon, 1952. In 1925, he befriended another young, struggling would-be actor named Walter Brennan. At one point, they were even appearing as a team at casting offices. And although Cooper emerged in major and leading roles first, they would work together in the good years too. Most memorably, they starred in The Westerner, 1940, together, where the general critical consensus was that Brennan's underplayed performances as Judge Roy being had stolen the film from Cooper. I'm sorry, it was a bit of a struggle there. Lord. He is also often cited as James Stewart's as his closest friend. So I really like Cooper. He is an amazing actor, a spectacular actor. If it wasn't for all the other heavy hitters on this list, he would probably be first place, honestly. But yeah, that's really telling you that this list is really jam packed full of damn elites, legends. Oh boy. So let's go to our next person, and this is a guy who doesn't not need any introduction. We talked about him a bunch already. It is Charlie Chaplin. As I said before, when it comes to people like this, I will not really tackle anything on him other than the trivia. Is it fair to all the other fellas and ladies? Probably not, but I don't really care. I'll do whatever I want. So, with no further introduction, let's get to the trivia. I next time I do this, which will be forever from now, and I'll probably forget. I probably won't include any more people that I've done in the past. Oh boy. A much repeated story claims that he once entered as a Charlie Chaplin lookalike. Okay, yeah. See, that's what I mean. I have to go through the entire list, and I have to find the right one. Okay, here we go. His trademark character of a tramp appeared in about 70 movies, shorts, and features during a period of 26 years. From a one-reeler Kid Auto Races at Venice in 1914 to his triumphant feature of a great dictator in 1940. His salary quickly rose during the teens, from $150 per week in 1913 for Keystone to $1,250 per week at SNA, to $10,000 per week with a $150,000 bonus at Mutual, to $150,000 per film in 1918. Yeah, 1918, equivalent to a promise of it. That's a lot of fucking money. You know what? Yeah. I'm not reading any more of that. Coming home after a hard day's work at the studio, Chaplin's favorite way to unwind was a 45-minute steam bath in his private sauna. He often found this refreshing enough to put on an evening suit and go out for dinner. One night, when he was feeling too tired, he would head straight to his bedroom and have his domestic staff serve him a meal there. Okay, hey, pop off. Although Adolf Hitler was not at all a huge fan, in fact, he had been misinformed that Chaplin was Jewish. Oh my. And therefore despised him. He was also well aware of how beloved Charlie was throughout the world at the time. And that was the reason he grew a Chaplin mustache. He thought it would endear him to the people. I mean, his bowler and cane was sold for $150,000 in 1987. Oh, has been history there. It has been lost. A shame. Sorry there for all the hiccups in my speech pattern. I will do better. So next up, to I believe is our 7th place fellow at this point, Frederick March. Now, I cannot recall if I actually did him or not. I really enjoy Frederick March, but in case I have not done him before, I'll just do it anyway. He was born August 31st, 1897, and he died April 14th, 1975 at the age of 77. Okay, let's get to his bio. Frederick March began a career in banking, but in 1920 he found himself cast as an extra in films being produced in New York. He started on the Broadway stage first in 1926 and returned there between screen appearances later on. He won plaudits, an Academy Award nomination, for his send-up of John Barrymore in The Royal Family of Broadway, 1930. Four more Academy Award nominations would come his way, and he would win the Oscar for Best Actor twice for Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, 1931, and The Best Years of Our Lives, 1946. He could play roles varying from heavy drama to light comedy, and was often best portraying men in anguish, such as Willie Loman in Death of a Salesman, 1951. As his career advanced, he regressed from leading man to character actor. Oh, very interesting. Okay, so our lovely fellow here, I just want to say this now. One of my favorite films ever is Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. I hope I said that right. Oh wow. So he had a lot. Well, not a lot compared to the last guy, give or take. But he had a good amount of films under him. 89. So his first film was The Great Adventure. He was actually uncredited for that. And his last ever thing he ever did was The Iceman Cometh in 1973. So let's talk about my favorite film from him. I already talked about it already, but I'm gonna do it again because I can. Let me get down to it. Go all the way down, you. Dr. Jekyll, Dr. Jekyll. There we go. So Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde was in 1931. It was a year after the lovely 30s, and he, mind you, by this point already had a good amount of films from this decade already, and that's just in the first two-ish years, give or take, 30 and 31. But yes, truly, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde was my favorite. It was like the peak of his acting, in my opinion. Now, beyond that film, because I can't just glaze the Jekyll and Hyde, I did love Les Miserables. I probably mispronounced that, but that was another good banger. Let's see another film that I did enjoy. I guess A Star Is Born. I didn't like it as much. This is my opinion there. The Buccaneer was also good. But beyond that, let's go down to trivia. We have plenty of people to talk about, and I want to get through all of them. So, trivia. The final Hyde makeup in Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, 1931, was so extreme that it almost permanently disfigured him. After filming was complete, he was hospitalized for 3 weeks. His co-star, Rose Hobart, said Frederick March was lucky he wasn't ruined for life. Jeez! Yikers. Whew. He served in the United States Army during World War I as an artillery lieutenant. It seems that It seems that nobody but Jesse L. Lasky wanted to make the Adventures of Mark Twain in 1944. He fought for years to convince the Warner Bros. To back a screen biography of the noted writer. Director Irvin Rapper was not interested in making the film until he learned his friend March was the first choice to star. March had been suggested by Twain's only living daughter, Clara Clemens Gabrowitsch, who informed Lasky that she would not help with the picture unless March played her father. But even with such a stirring endorsement, March had his doubts. He had only accepted the role after makeup department shot a test in which he played Twain at 65. When a picture of March in makeup was released to the papers, Twain's daughter thought somebody had discovered another archival photo of her father. Jeez, it must have been damn good. I have to freaking watch that damn film now. It'll be very, very interesting to see. So, he's thinking about the best years of our lives in 1946 as his favorite movie role, and Long Day's Journey into Night as his favorite stage play. He considered work in television as an awful experience. Oh boy, was he right? In 1949, he was targeted for blacklisting by the House of Un-American Activities Committee because of his supposed leftist politics. For a while after undergoing major surgery for prostate cancer in 1970, the Team March acting career was finished. However, he was able to give one final great performance in The Iceman's Cometh, 1973. I'm so excited to see that. This is his last film, so I of course will be seeing that one. But that's the end of the line there. But next up is a lady who, oh man, if I could place her higher, I would have. honestly would have. Next up is Judy Garland. So we know her all best as the lady who dominated Wizard of the Oz, or rather Wizard of Oz, whatever. So she is so tragic, but she was born June 10th, 1922, and she died June 27th, 1969, at the age of 47. So let's get down to her bio. Ooh, that's a big ass bio. I'm not reading all that. Her bio. So it was supposed to be a mini bio. They filled her up with like 18 like silver band paragraphs. That's kind of crazy. One of the brightest, most tragic movie stars of Hollywood's golden era, Judy Garland was a much-loved character whose warmth and spirit, along with her rich and exuberant voice, kept theater goers entertained with an array of delightful musicals. She was born Frances Ethel Gum on June 10th, 1922, in Minnesota, the youngest daughter of Vaudevillains Ethel Marine and Francis Avant Frank Gum. She was of English, along with some Scottish and Irish descent. Her mother, an ambitious woman gifted in playing various musical instruments, saw potential in her daughter at a tender age of just 2 years old, when baby Frances repeatedly sang Jingle Bells, until she was dragged from the stage, kicking and screaming during one of their Christmas shows. They immediately drafted her into a dance act entitled The Gum Sisters. Along with her older sisters, Mary Jane Gum and Virginia Gum, however, knowing that her youngest daughter would eventually become the biggest star, Ethel soon took Frances out of the act, and together they traveled across America, where she would perform in nightclubs, cabarets, hotels, and theater solos. Good lord. I'll read one last paragraph. Her family life was not a happy one, largely because of her mother's drive for her to succeed as a performer, and also her father's closeted homosexuality. The Gum family would rarely be forced to leave town owing to her father's illicit affairs with other men, and from time to time they would be reduced to living out of their automobile. However, in September 1935, the Gums, in particular Ethel's prayers, were answered when Frances was signed by Louis B. Mayer, mogul of leading film studio MGM. After hearing her sing, it was then that her name was changed from Frances Gum to Judy Garland, after a popular dirty song, Judy, and film critic Robert Garland. Okay. So, there's a lot here, and of course you'd always like look it up yourself. It's just about that's a lot for one person. That's okay though. So she has a number of films, 41. So a lot less than basically almost everybody on the list thus far, other than the Marx Brothers. It's okay though. Her first film was The Big Review. It was a short in 1929. And her last ever thing was Judy Garland and Barbara Streisand Get Happy / Happy Days Are Here Again, 1963. So her obviously most important film ever that we all know, get down to it, The Wizard of Oz. Such a good film. Has a lot of conspiracy theories around it. A lot of dark things. It's a whole lot of sad things going on there. Oh boy, she and like much of the cast from that whole thing did dirty. Like holy shit. So beyond that film, what else did I like? Oh, I did like Babes in Arms. That was a good one. And I am up to 43 right now. I have not seen Presenting Lily Mars yet, but it is on the list. It'll be very fun to see. So, let us go down to trivia. According to her biography on the A&E channel, as a young adult in her early acting career, producers had her going to 6 different doctors for what the hell? For prescription drugs without any one doctor knowing about the other 5. It was this process that led to her addiction. Jesus! A close friend was Katharine Hepburn, with whom she would regularly stay during her most serious bouts of depression in order to recover. Garland discouraged her children from entering show business, pointing out her financial and health problems. Nevertheless, Lisa Manel and Lorna Loft became entertainers. Joey lives in relative anonymity as a freelance photographer. Always had crooked teeth always had crooked front teeth for which an MGM dentist fitted her with removable caps to wear in her films, including The Wizard of Oz, 1939. Liza Minnelli originally wanted Mickey Rooney to deliver Garland's eulogy, Lord, but she was afraid that he wouldn't be able to get through it, so James Mason did it instead. The day she died, there was a tornado in Kansas. That is actually kind of fucking crazy. It's like the heavens are like, this one's for you, Judy. Ooh, one last one. In January 2017, her body was removed from the mausoleum at Ferncliff Cemetery in New York and sent to Los Angeles, where she was placed in a private family crypt at the Hollywood Forever Cemetery. Garland's children bought a large family crypt to ensure they would be laid to rest with their mother. There was no room for that at Ferncliff. She was laid to rest in the same cemetery as her childhood friend and co-star Mickey Rooney. Okay. Wow. That is her life was just Lord. Addicted. She's a character who, by the way, we will have a whole legend lens for. She's not a character, she's a person. Let me correct myself there. She'll have her own one day. There's a whole list I have to get through before I get to her. I still have to do it sometime next week. It'll be a fun time, I assure you. Or not. Maybe not. So, let's go to our next lovely person. Number 6 on our list. Humphrey Bogart. This fellow, I love this fucking guy. He is great. Oh boy. Let me just go and close that. There we go. So, he was born December 25th, 1899. And he died January 14th, 1957. At the age of 57. So this is kind of weird how it plays out. So, Humphrey DeFrost Bogart was born in New York City, New York, to Maud Humphrey, a famed magazine illustrator and suffragette, and Belmont DeFrost Bogart, a moderately wealthy surgeon, who secretly serially addicted to opium. Bogart was educated at Trinity School, NYC, and was sent to Phillips Academy in Andover, Massachusetts, in preparation for medical studies at Yale. He was expelled from Phillips and joined the U.S. Naval Reserve from 1920 to 1922. He managed a stage company owned by a family friend, William A. Brady, the father of actress Alice Brady, performing a variety of tasks at Brady's film studio in New York. He began regular stage performances. Alexander Woollcott describing his acting in a 1922 play as inadequate. Oh, wow. So there's a lot there, and as always, I want to get through every damn thing, so I'm not going to be reading every little thing. So this fellow had 85 films. I believe it's like 4 more than our last lovely person. So his first ever film, we get down all the way down to it, was The Dancing Town, which was a short in 1928. And his last ever thing he ever did was The Harder They Fall in 1956. So, let me talk about all the films that I remember from him, because one that I truly loved, I think it was like his defining moment, in my opinion, was Dark Victory. I believe I even gave him, in the Syphies, I gave him like a reward for that. Can't remember. I also loved the Roaring Twenties. What else did he do that was really damn good? Ooh, Crime School. Dead End was also great. Oh yeah, Love Affair. That was good. And I guess beyond that was Bad Sister. Despite all the films that he did, most of his real like other stuff comes out in the 40s and 50s. So we'll be seeing him again, probably even on this list as a bonus. Who knows? So let's go down to our lovely trivia. Named his daughter Leslie Bogart to show his gratitude to Leslie Howard, who got him his big break in The Petrified Forest, 1936. He was involved in a serious automobile accident late in production of the Beat the Devil in 1953. Several of his teeth were knocked out in the accident, hindering his ability to speak clearly. Director John Huston hired a young British actor noted for his mimicry skills to re-record some of Bogart's dialogue during post-production, looping. And although the talent of a young impersonator is such that the difference is undetectable. While viewing the film today, it is a young Peter Sellers who provides Bogart's voice during some of the scenes. Ah, Frank Sinatra's friends, known as the Clan, were originally a group of Bogart's friends who enjoyed drinking heavily. Oh boy. They referred to themselves as the Hombley Hills Rat Pack, since Bogart lived in the Hombley Hills section of Hollywood. The Rat Pack name had originated one morning after a night of heavy boozing when Bogart's wife, Lauren Bacall, came upon the sodding group and plainly said, "You look like a goddamn Rat Pack." Bogart enjoyed the term, and a legend was born, but Sinatra stopped using the Rat Pack name after Boogie died in 1957, and he and his friends hated it when others continued to label them that way. Ah. His coffin contains a small gold whistle, put there by his wife, Lauren Bacall. So that is him. Bogart is great, and I'm very excited to cover him in Legend Lens. There's a lot of people that I talk about on this list, and pretty much every person on this list will have a Legend Lens to some degree. I have a whole other thing planned though, so that this takes a bit more priority for any of that. So next up is Mae West. This lady is a damn icon. We'll get to her bio in a second. But she was born August 17th, 1893, and she died November 22nd, 1980, at the age of 87. So, to her lovely bio, we'll of course only be reading a little bit of this. Mae West was born August 17th, 1893, in Brooklyn, New York, to battling Jack West and Matilda Duliger. She began her career as a child star in vaudeville, and later went to write her own plays, including Sex, for which she was arrested. Though her first movie role at the age of 40 was a small part in the Night After Night, 1932, her scene has become famous. A coat check girl claims, "Goodness, what lovely diamonds." After seeing Mae's jewelry, Mae replies, "Goodness had nothing to do with it." Her next film in which she starred came the following year, She'd Done Him Wrong, 1933, was based on her earlier and very popular play Diamond Lil. She went on to write and star in several more films, including My Little Chitty, 1940, and W.C. Fields. Her last movie was Sextet, in 1977, which also came from a play she died on November 22nd, 1980. Okay, short, sweet, and simple. Oh boy. Oh, I need some water. This has been a very fun time. Okay. So, so she only had 15 films. Not much at all. I think she has like around the same amount as the Marx Brothers, actually, give or take. But like I said before, the first ever film she did was Night After Night, and her last film was Sextet. What can I not say that damn word? But my favorite film from her was Klondike Annie. I don't know why, but I enjoyed it so much for no reason. I just enjoyed it. Everything about it was great. Now, I'm not going to say that was her best thing ever, but it was good. I also enjoyed Going to Town, but that's a story for another time. So, time for trivia. And so one of the hardest reasons as to why she's so high is because this first piece of trivia. She was one of the first women to consistently write the movies she starred in. I think that's so important, and to basically give this a spotlight, really, to basically to such an important woman who basically like paved ways, if you will. She was at one point Hollywood's highest paid star. According to Tony Curtis, her famous walk originated while beginning her career as a stage actress. Special 6-inch platforms were attached to her shoes to increase the height of her stage presence. Her walk literally was 1 foot at a time. At one point, her chauffeur was Jerry Arbeck, who was best known for playing Detective Lenny Briscoe on all 4 Law & Order television series. Her films are credited with single-handedly saving failing and debt-ridden Paramount Pictures from bankruptcy in the early 1930s. So, she's important. That's what we're here. Is that she is very important to one of America's most popular productions, man. Ooh, boy. So that is all for her. Next up is a person I don't really even need to talk about really. But she's important. Anybody who's a Gen Z or millennial has seen her so fucking much due to those damn adverts. Hold on. I need some water for this one. Next up is Shirley Temple. Oh wait, hold on. I got the wrong image. This is who is this fellow then? Is that Cary Grant? Did I skip Cary Grant? If I skip Cary Grant, I'm gonna be so mad. Yes, this is Cary Grant. I'm pretty sure. So my bad. This is next up is Cary Grant, and then we'll do Shirley Temple. It's how it is sometimes, people. That's how it is. So Cary Grant was born January 18th, 1904, and he died November 29th, 1986, at the age of 82. We'll do a very short bio here. They always say mini bio, but this thing is fucking gargantuan. Cary Grant was born Archibald Alec Lech on January 18th, 1904, in Harnfield, Bristol, England, to Elise Maria and Elias James Lech, who worked in a factory. His early years in Bristol would have been an ordinary lower middle class childhood, except for one extraordinary event. At the age of 9, he came home from school and one day he told his mother had gone off to a seaside resort. However, the real truth was that she had been placed in a mental institution, where she remained for years, and he was never told about it. He would not see his mother again until he was in his late 20s. Jesus age! This guy's story is actually sad. I'm just gonna keep it pushing. He had a good number of films, around 77, and his first ever film was This Is the Night, and our last film ever was Walk, Don't Run. I can take that name of advice right now. So let's get on to a film that I recall enjoying a lot. Susie. Yes, Susie is good. It would enter Madame. Oh, I remember that film because it was like right around the time Oz and I had our falling out. That's when I watched that film. And of course, Alice in Wonderland. And is there any other films? Yes, She Had Done Him Wrong, which of course starred our girl Mae West. I can't believe I forgot one of the top guys in the damn list. He's number 3, for Christ's sake. Let's get on to our trivia. He gave serious consideration to retiring in 1953 because he believed the success of Marlon Brando in method acting meant his own kind of acting was a thing in the past. 18 months later, he was lured back to Catch a Thief, and therefore delayed his retirement until 1966. Maintain a year-round sustain to avoid wearing makeup. Ian Fleming modeled the James Bond character partially with Grant in mind. I can see that. I can actually see Mr. Bond in him. Remained close to Barbara Hutton's son, Lance Ravenflow, after their divorce. The boy regularly stayed with Grant on some weekends. Grant referred to him as his son. It was devastated when he died in a plane crash and helped Barbara with funeral arrangements. God. One of his favorite poems was a bit doggerel. They had brought me a box of 10 soldiers. I threw all the generals away. I smashed up the sergeants and majors. Now I play with the privates all day. With my privates all day. Okay. He donated his entire salary for the arithmetic and an old lace in 1954, $100,000 for a U.S. war relief fund. He's a good fella. So, oh boy. Sorry about that. Let's go to our next person before I lose my marbles. This is Shirley Temple. Ooh. I hated Shirley Temple as a child because it was every damn night. I wake up in the middle of the damn night and all I hear is her fucking singing and dancing. It was so annoying. Born April 23rd, 1928, and she died February 10th, 2014. So very recently. Over a decade ago now. That's actually a really crazy thing about that this person lived so long. Because every other person we've seen thus far died in the 60s, and the latest was like what, the 80s? So this is a person who's like relatively recently, all things considered. So, I do recall that she actually was a diplomat or something like that, or like way later in life. Shirley Temple was easily the most popular and famous child star of all time. She got her start in the movies at the age of 3 and soon progressed to superstardom. Shirley could do it all. act, sing, and dance, and all at the age of 5. Fans loved her as she was bright, bouncy, and cheerful in her films, and they ultimately bought millions of dollars worth of products that had her likeness on them. Dolls, photograph records, mugs, hats, dresses, whatever it was, if it had her picture on there, they bought it. Yep, that's that capitalism right there, baby. We love that shit. Shirley was a box office champion for consecutive years. 1935, 36, 37, 38, beating out such great grown-up stars such as Clark Gable, Bing Crosby, Robert Taylor, Gary Cooper, and Joan Crawford. By 39, her popularity declined, although she starred in some very good movies such as Since You Went Away, 1944, and The Bachelor, and The Bobby Soxer, 1947. Her career was nearing its end. Later, she had served as an ambassador to Ghana and Czechoslovakia. It was once guessed that she had more than 50 golden curls in her head. Oh boy, I can't believe I worded up that. Oh, it was all sorts of wrong there. Whatever, I did good enough. So, let us go down to her films. It's a shame that that's how it really goes for a lot of these child actors, is that they are so big for a while and then they just die off, and it's really sad. I mean, no matter what, she was still a big name even after her career kind of just fell off. People all like remembered her. She was always big. So her first film was Runt Page. It was a short in 1932. And her last ever thing was a actual TV show, the Red Skeleton Hour. And apparently that show has a pretty damn big rating. Ooh, I have to watch that. So let us see, from all the films that I've seen, which one did I enjoy the most? I think Dimples was pretty damn good. Oh, okay, so this film is controversial, obviously. But Littlest Rebel, that was another also enjoyable film, despite everything that's wrong with it. Let's see, the Little Colonel, that was also a really good one. What else was good? Oh yeah, Carolina. And last film I think was really good. It was Out All Night. Okay, let's go down to her trivia. Her mother, Gertrude Temple, did her hair and pin curls for each movie. Every hairstyle had exactly 56 curls. Shirley Jones and Shirley MacLaine were both named after her. In 1889, was appointed United States Ambassador to Czechoslovakia. Bill Robinson, aka Bojangles Robinson, was her idol when she was a child, and she got to work with him on 4 pictures. She presented Walt Disney with a Special Academy Award for Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs in 1937. It was a standard size Oscar with 7 little Oscars. That's adorable. In a 1988 interview with Larry King, she stated that out of the $3 million she generated for 20th Century Fox, she only saw $45,000 in her trust fund. Jeez! They scammed the fuck out of her. That's kind of crazy. Okay, so we are almost done. We next have our special mentions. We will briefly talk about all of them in a rapid fire motion. Well, rapid for me, really. We won't go too heavily into them, like we did all the others. There'll be a nice mention. Perhaps I'll do a separate video for them only. We'll see. One day. Next up, we have... Where is... Okay, it's all out of order. It's all out of order! Did I not save a picture of her? I would feel stupid if I did. Okay. That's okay. Whatever. Next up is Fred Astaire. We talked about him, I believe, before in the past. We will see. So some notable films I recall from him that I really, really did enjoy. I recall loving Second Chorus and Let's Dance. Although this is a film I watched way later. This is a rerun on, I can't remember, it was like something on Comcast. But the Towering Inferno, I recall watching it. Oh, and of course, the Battlestar Galactica, obviously. But that is him. Next up is Douglas Fairbanks Jr. We've seen him a number of times, obviously on this channel. He's a big name. So some films I enjoyed from him, obviously, was that's where things get kind of hard. Is he had a lot of good films. Union Depot was really good. Obviously, Little Caesar, Party Girl. What else was there good from him? Of course, the Three Musketeers, and I guess the last one I enjoyed was Green Hill. Next up is Errol Flynn. We talked about him before. He was in a really big film, and I recall this. I gave him a big old reward. If it wasn't for all the other heavy hitters, he would definitely be on the main list. Um, so, oh yes, this is the film that he dominated in was The Adventures of Robin Hood. That was so damn good, like stupidly good. The Sisters were good too. What was a Crowd? The Prince and the Pauper, and whatever film. This one I'll obviously like come out later is The Edge of Darkness. That was also another good film. Next up is Lucille Ball. And I kind of skipped ahead there. She is an icon. God, she was great. She starred in I Love Lucy and the Lucy Show, which obviously they're all kind of like American classics. I watched them growing up a little bit here and there. She was also in the name Star Trek, so she's a really big name who will be getting a lot of love and attention from me one day. I just want to put her in here, just because this I could. Next up is Priscilla Lane. She is, well, out of nowhere, the Goonometer, a 10. She also starred in Four Daughters and Saboteur. Two really damn good films. Other than that, Dust Be My Destiny was really good. Four Wives, Cheers for the Irish, Men Are Such Fools. She had a lot of good films, despite her very short run. So that is all for our bonus people. Finally, we have Robert Donat. He is our number one on this list. Oh boy, oh boy. He's also going to be our thumbnail for this video. Because out of all these images, like there were some pretty iconic ones, but I think his is the best. I want to go with that. He was born on March 18th, 1905, and he died June 9th, 1958 at the age of 53. So, let's get on to his mini bio, and we'll read a little bit of it. Robert Donat's pleasant voice and somewhat neutral English accent were carefully honed as a boy because he had a stammer and took what the fuck? Elocution lessons. Electrocution. Wait, what? Starting at the age of 11 to overcome the impediment. It was not too surprising that freedom from such vocal embarrassment and was encouragement to act. His other handicap was acute asthma, did not deter him. At the age of 16, he began performing Shakespeare and other classic roles in a number of repertory and touring companies throughout Britain in 1924. He joined Sir Frank Benson's repertory company. Later, he was with the Liverpool Repertory Theatre. Okay. I actually so one of the reasons as to why I actually picked it, I put him so high was because he had a very similar impediment to myself, and I could relate to him a lot more than all the other people. It's a struggle. It really is, and you guys heard it throughout this entire episode. It's always sad. It's always sad. But he did not have that many films, unfortunately. But he did have some bangers. That's for damn sure. His first ever film was His first ever film was Men of Tomorrow, and his last ever thing he ever did was The End of His Sixth Happiness. But let's go over to films I really enjoyed from him, because he had some bangers. The Count of Monte Cristo was so fucking good. The Private Life of Henry, I cannot pronounce, or rather say certain Roman numerals, so I'm going to try. for Love or Money, The Citadel, The Ghost Goes West, and I think the most important of this bunch, Goodbye, Mr. Chips. Goodbye, Mr. Chips was such a good film. Everyone in that entire film was banging. Great, it was good. One thing I will say is if he was around for a lot longer, he probably would have dominated the entirety of the Hollywood. That's my opinion, of course. But let's go down to his trivia. He was the favorite actor of a British comedy legend, Peter Sellers, who once said about Robert Donat, "I thought he was a god." He was the favorite actor of Judy Garland, who wrote a fan letter to him after seeing his performance in The Count of Monte Cristo, 1934. He was originally scheduled to play the title role in Captain Blood, 1935, but withdrew before shooting began, which created an opportunity for Errol Flynn to become a star. He was also offered the role of Robin Hood in The Adventures of Robin Hood, 1938, which he turned down due to illness. So he could have had two major roles if he didn't give them up. But it saw a rise to our boy Dan Flynn. So I'm not complaining that heavily. It just sucks though. What could have been. When he passed away on June 9th, 1958, he left none of his 25,000 euros, equivalent to 660,000 in 2025, estate to his wife, Renee Asherton, Asher's son. Instead, his estate was divided among his three children, Joanna, John, and Brian. He did not feel comfortable with Hollywood, so Hollywood came to him, filming mostly in England. Oh. He played Charles Edward Mr. Chips, chipping between the ages of 20 in 1870 and 83 in 1933. Engaged by Mr. Chips in 1939, Donat was 34 years old when he played this role. Okay, so that is all for this. This closes out the 30s for us. We probably will come back to to the 30s again in our rewind segments. But this is the last major thing of the 30s, and I kind of scuffed it up. But hey, I don't care. Anybody who has enjoyed it, please like and subscribe for more. In peace.